We've got Sophie and Isi with us. How are you doing, Sophie and Isi?
I'm doing good, thank you.
I'm doing good, thank you.
All well and good. Now, so WaterAid you've been raising for. Can you tell us a little bit about WaterAid and why you chose it?
Yes, so last week, as part of Hills Road Social Action Week, our group chose to raise money for WaterAid. So a couple of the reasons that we chose to do this was...
So there's 771 million people who do not have access to clean, safe drinking water, and already WaterAid has reached 28.1 million by working with locals and the government. They put in pumps and wells, but there's just so many people that still don't have access, and it's just not acceptable, really. So another reason we chose WaterAid is because we knew exactly where our money was going to. So for every £1 donated to WaterAid, 74p goes to delivering services, so getting them clean water, and 24p goes on to further fundraising, so it makes sure that there's going to be a big, long-lasting change.
So this has been part of a wider sort of action week at Hills Road, hasn't it, over the last week? And there's been lots of sort of tutor groups taking part and doing different things. What sort of things have been going on before we come to the to what you've been doing? What sort of things did people try?
There was a whole variety of things. We had groups doing sponsored swims. We had a couple of other groups do walks as well. There were a couple of groups that did busking on the streets of Cambridge to raise a bit of money. We also went along and supported other groups' bake sales and little things that they were doing to help raise money for their charities.
This is Burwell Radio.
You've done 3 different things, haven't you, really, in your group in the last week? So do you want to run us through what you've been doing?
Okay, so our fundraising effort spanned 3 days. So on the first day, on the Tuesday, we had a bake sale. And then on the Wednesday, that was our main fundraising effort, which was a 12-kilometre barefoot walk, which 4 of us participated in. And also one member of our group did a hike up Kinder Scout in the Peak District. So I'll say a little bit more about that in a second. And then on the Thursday, we had a second bake sale. So on the Wednesday, that was our 12-kilometre barefoot walk. We did that round Wimpole Estate.
So I want to know about this barefoot walk. This sounds really painful to me. How did this go? What gave you the idea of doing a barefoot walk anyway?
So we decided to do it barefoot to try and make the walk as realistic as possible, to represent this walk that all of the children in African countries have to do every day, often twice a day, just to get their clean water.
So what did Wimpole Hall people think when you turned up and started walking around the grounds barefoot?
Well, I can tell you we got a lot of very strange looks from passers-by. We did have to explain to a couple of people why we were doing it, because they were just absolutely flabbergasted at why there was this group of 4 young girls walking around without any shoes on.
And you didn't tread on any Lego or anything, because that sounds like the worst nightmare.
No, not Lego, but there were plenty of stones dotted around that we encountered and accidentally stood on multiple occasions.
So are your feet recovered then now, do you think?
I would say just about, but it was very painful. I think the worst thing for me was these spiky plants that were everywhere and you just couldn't avoid them. It was painful, but people have to do it every day, so we can't really complain.
Yeah, well, it's a harsh reminder, isn't it, of the difficulties people face, and well done for sort of putting yourself. I was going to say putting yourself in their shoes, but that would be that would be worthy of Rob Proctor, who's on tonight in terms of his jokes. So tell us a little bit about the Kinder Scout mission then, because that was one of your friends, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that was one of our friends. We know that he left his house at 8 a.m. to get there, and it was about a 5.5-hour hike. And afterwards, I think he was quite ill with hay fever afterwards, completely knocked out the next day. But he raised £110 in total for that.
Absolutely brilliant. And what about the cake sales? Who's the baker amongst you, or do you both do a bit of baking?
We both did a bit of baking. So on the Tuesday, I did a bit of baking, and it went down really well. But the Thursday one was even more successful. We had people saying they were the best brownies and cakes they'd ever had.
Oh,
so it was really nice to hear.
Where did you get your inspiration from for the baking? Was it TV shows or just cookbooks or? make it up.
Cookbooks, recipes.
Super. Right now, we come to the grand total. Then I suppose, haven't we? We've. If I had a drum roll, I would give it to you, but I haven't got one lined up tonight. But what was your target originally? It was quite modest, wasn't it?
Yeah. So the school set us a target of £200 that we had to try and reach, but we set a personal goal of about £300.
Yep, and so you had a target of 200. You set a personal goal of 300. Let's hear the grand total. Drum roll.
We raised a grand total of £1,205.
That is absolutely superb. And so WaterAid will no doubt be sort of absolutely delighted and probably sending you a certificate and stuff. But I think you've done the best, haven't you, out of all the many groups?
We have, yes, out of all of the groups at Hills Road. And as you can imagine, it's a big school. 1,000-odd students, loads of tutor groups, and we raised the most out of all of them.
1,000-odd students. Are you two normal ones? Or, So
yes,
excellent. So that is an absolutely outstanding total. So you've definitely you've done the best financial return and the most painful feat. No doubt.
Yeah.
Have you got any more plans then? How can you better this in the future? Have you got any more sort of missions up your sleeve then for fundraising?
Well, we've got the whole summer ahead of us, and I'm sure all the members of our group would be very keen to get together again, maybe even do another walk if we can face up to it. And our donations, I mean, we can always open another GoFundMe because that's what we were using. Yep. So, yeah.
With the shoes on this time, no doubt. But well done. That's an absolutely terrific total. So well done, Sophie and Isi. On all your fundraising excellence. £1,205 for WaterAid.
Thank you.
And thank you very much indeed for coming into Burwell Radio tonight to talk about it. And good luck in the future.
This is Burwell Radio.